I want to make music and art at the highest level. I really truthfully feel like I'm here to help in some capacity. And I think music is a catalyst in order for me to do that. The long-term win is your ability to win on the day-to-day level. You keep thinking that like, I can't devote all the time I can to the career and all the time I can to family. Devoting the time to the family is how you are able to do everything in the career. This is foundation. So if the people around you aren't good and your family and your community locally aren't good, you can't build the rest of it. It's gonna everything up. Your whole life's gonna be in shambles.
Do you ever experience hate from people? Jealousy? Online? In person?
Oh yeah, on the internet for sure. Like, I get it. You see me in the bathtub singing a song and you don't like it. That's fine. Like, that's cool, dude. I can't blame you for that.
Check out Jon's. There really is bathtub songs.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, dude.
Where are you from?
I am born and raised here in Sacramento, California.
That's right. What part?
I grew up in Fair Oaks, and I live in Citrus Heights, so a little bit of the burbs outside the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? What's a couple notable memories?
Childhood was good, man.
Yeah.
I was blessed without a doubt, you know. Good relationships with friends, like pretty normal, I think, Californian childhood, you know, like played sports, skateboard in the summer. I started getting into music at a pretty young age. Yeah, I just was always like drawn to it, which I know isn't a unique experience. A lot of people are, you know. But yeah, even in elementary school, I just like loved it. I thought it was so cool.
Well, a lot of people are drawn to it, but not a lot like go for it and say, hey, I want to learn this. I want to perform this. And then, you know what? I'm going to start putting content out. How old were you when that started? When you're like, dude, I think I want to perform.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I remember in 6th grade at lunch, my buddy, who was my best friend at the time, his name's Jacob, and he was like, we're starting a band. Just like,
hell yeah.
Just like, you know, and none of us know how to play anything. None of us had any instruments. You're just like, okay, cool. And Jacob's like, I'll play guitar. Just like declares it. And you're like, cool, dude. And I was like, our buddy was like, I'll play drums. And I'm like, well, my dad played bass in college, so I'll play bass. And then fast forward another like year, and then for Christmas of 7th grade, I asked for a bass for Christmas. That Christmas morning, I opened up like a box with like a piece of paper that was like, you're getting a bass, which was cool because that way they did that so I could go pick it out. You know what I mean? So I went to like the local music shop. It was called Music Around. It was like Sunrise and Madison. And I went there, and my dad brought me, and I picked out like a pink salmon colored bass, which my dad didn't give me any shit for, which was cool because I think most dads would when you're like 12-year-old emo son picks out the pink instrument. And I got that because Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 had a pink bass. And
love Blink-182.
Dude, oh my God. Just so fucking great.
Yes.
But that same day, my dad also wanted to get me into lessons because he didn't want like me to fuck around and not learn anything. Which was,
we're not doing a pink bass if you're not going to give it your all.
You know, and which was again a blessing that like he was able to do that. My parents were able to do that. And that day in like the back of the store, there was a bass teacher, and we walked back there, and we like scheduled a first lesson. And the guy was like, "Well, my lesson didn't show up. You want to just do it right now?" And my dad was like, "Yep." And
one of those
like,
fate things like we were talking about.
So, fun fact, my bass teacher, who I had for 5 years, again, blessing, great, but totally fucking blind. Like, just legally blind. Like, just has the dog.
Like literally blind.
Like, literally blind.
Okay.
Yeah, like, literally blind.
Not figuratively.
Yeah. Best bass player I've ever met in my entire fucking life. But, like, man can't see for shit. You know what I mean? Like, I saw him through a couple different service dogs. But, that day, you know, so we're like, cool, let's do the lesson. I go back into the little room. We're sitting there. He shuts the door. The lights are not on.
And he doesn't know.
He don't know. I'm 12 and not like socially. I don't know how to is that rude? for me to be like, hey, bro,
Hey, I'm a little freaked out.
hey, the lights aren't on. So I didn't say anything, and we just like did the lesson. There was a little bit of light coming through like a window, but like pretty much did the lesson in the dark. And then I built some rapport with him over the next couple of months, and I had like finally mentioned, I was like, hey, do you know like that first lesson that we did it in the dark? And he's like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? And he's like, why didn't you tell me, bro?
Because I was terrified.
He's like, I don't know. Turn the light on.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
dude.
yeah, that was kind of the start.
When did you have your first performance?
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
then at what point? Yeah, first performance, and then when did you switch to like vocals? Because dude, you can hit
first
like
performance.
every
I switched to
genre.
vocals.
Okay,
but not really. But I did, which was this like same buddy I had this band with, Jacob. His parents were doing. Dude, I don't know if it was like an anniversary party or what, but it was like his mom and his stepdad, and they were like doing some sort of like, I swear it was like an anniversary party. I can't even remember. And maybe it was genuinely like a wedding. I don't even know. But it was at their house, and they were like, yeah, dude, Jacob's band, our band, they're going to play some songs. And so we started like rehearsing a couple covers. And nobody wanted to sing. None of us.
Well, yeah, it's a set of nuts factor there,
dude.
Man.
Yeah, nobody wanted to sing, and they were just like, "Okay, you'll do it, right?" And I'm like, "I mean, I guess." And so, like, yeah, my first live performance ever was like a real rough cover of Ramones' Blitzkrieg Bach.
Oh wow!
That we played at this wedding I don't know what to call it, anniversary party, something like that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, thrown into the fire vocally.
Kind of the only way to do anything in life, right?
I think so.
Get tossed in the ocean.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
In a weird way too, I think that kind of looking back on it, like that's a reflection of pretty much how I ended up doing anything at all in terms of like music. Like I felt like everything I was doing was out of necessity. And what I mean by that is like I started learning more instruments because I liked them, but also like I felt the need that like if that role needs to get filled in whatever capacity in service to somebody else, I'll be able to do it. And then I started like learning how to sing, and that was because like I wanted to do like background vocals for somebody, and then I wanted to learn how to like engineer and make records because like paying for it is expensive and crazy, and I'm like I think I can. This is something I'm into, and I can do, and I can again like be in service to people's projects and people's art. And then that became like, well, I started producing and making beats also for like that same reason. And then I started like singing and doing melodies on those beats because the productions I was doing with certain people, I feel like weren't good enough. And there's only so much you can do when you're like in the background. And so everything felt like just a serious need to be like in service to this greater thing.
The greater thing of creating music,
art, this like, however you want, like, I kind of think of it as like an offering in like a really deep way, but I don't like talk about that, and for most people, because they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a song. Yeah, so everything kind of
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, there was nothing here, and now there's something. And when you treat it honestly and truthfully, there's a resonance to it with other people. And I think that thing that can bring people together and connect them, like that's kind of our whole jam as people. You know what I mean? Like that's community. That's what it is, And so music is one way to do that. And it's all the same thing. Whether it's
kind of the biggest way because it's a universal language. It transcends, race, gender, political views, or whatever. Tons of people can like the same music.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that we're into. Like I think about it sometimes. Of just like it's just like frequency and sound and resonance and rhythm and like
we're just feeling it.
Yeah, and it's like it's so unique to us and it's so weird that we love it, and it's also so weird that there's so much of it that all of us really don't like and hate. You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, I like everything, and you're like, there's over 100,000 songs uploaded a day to Spotify. I promise you don't like everything, bro. There's a lot of ass music, which is cool. I'm not knocking it, but like, you don't like everything. But the things that you do, a lot of times, I think, mean a lot. You know, and they don't have to. It's cool to have fun. It's cool to just like, fun is a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be some deep shit. But that's powerful too, you know?
So when you talk about honesty and reverence behind your music, do you mean the intention you're putting into it? What do you mean by that?
I don't even know if it's intention, but like, honesty is a weird thing to describe because it doesn't mean the lyrics have to be honest. It doesn't mean it has to be a true story. I just think of it like, I don't know how to describe it other than like the truth. And it's just that feeling.
Authentic, maybe.
It's that authenticity that like it's that feeling of connection. I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's been a lot of times in my life, and I'm sure for so many others, that like, I just don't feel in tune with what's happening around me, whether it's the people, whether it's an environment, whether it's something, but like, a song comes on, I'm listening in the car or the headphones or whatever, and like all of a sudden I don't feel alone. I feel like I'm a part of something, or I feel like I'm enveloped in this fucking world that got created that just like happened through somebody else.
Isn't that a trip?
It's
Somebody
a trip
that you've never met anywhere can get a mic and an instrument and create something that when you hear it, a whole world away, it affects your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, gives serotonin or dopamine, or you feel love, you know, or excitement.
And I feel like I've gotten to know so many great people that I've never met before, but I just know them through their art and their music. And then it's like, maybe they do something crazy or outlandish in public or on a celebrity level or whatever. And I'm like, I don't even think that's the fucking reality or truth. Short of like really fucked up shit. Like, I think that like the thing they sweat and toil over and they put their fucking hearts and souls into, song after song, album after album, like that's the that's them. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's art. Yes, it's an expression, but like, that's how they're feeling. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think that's us being able to like take the good out of people. You know what I mean? Like, and take it for what it is. And I think people get caught up in that shit because, I don't know, man. Like, that's their contribution to humanity in a lot of ways.
I like that.
Yeah.
We were talking authenticity, dude. You are very yourself on
Appreciate
all
it.
platforms, man.
I don't know how to be anything else.
Yeah. Well, that's a natural gift you were born with then, because people crave that, and people crave being authentic themselves. And it's hard to do that. The first thing you have to do is know yourself. What do I like? What are my desires? What kind of foods do I like? What kind of art do I like? Music. What kind of movies do I like? You start there. And then if you spend time there, you'll be around other people with the same interests. And then you go from there, and then you attract people who are authentic. But most people don't know how to be authentic. And then we're constantly given content that we're supposed to like through, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing.
Sure.
You know, it's just how things work.
Yeah.
We're given content that we're told to like. And so a lot of people fall into what everyone else is liking, and they don't really know themselves. And then they're exhausted after social situations, exhausted after work, because they're basically playing a role.
Yeah.
You negated that whole thing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Honestly, I think it kind of stems from like, to be real, like I growing up never really felt like I fit in all the way pretty much anywhere. And it's not that like, I mean, dude, like I'm blessed, come from loving parents, loving family, friends. I mean, like my girl loves me. Like the love is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm alone on a rock. But I never felt like I fit in with like the mold of this circle, that circle,
the
whatever it
jocks or
is.
the stoners or the artsies.
Like I'm always not all the way in, you know what I mean? But like, I think growing up like that, I just got kind of good at like, whatever the fuck this is what it is. And I like a lot of stuff, and I do a lot of stuff, and whatever. Yeah. Again, whatever it is, it is. And the more I say, fuck it, like, I think the better things kind of just work out.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. So you're sober?
Not really. I mean, no, I wouldn't say I'm sober. I just haven't had a drink in like 6 years.
Okay.
The way I like to think about it is like, I like doing the drugs that won't ruin your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
That pretty much sums it up for me.
So not cocaine.
Yeah, I've never done coke. Hasn't happened once. Yeah, never done coke. And then you could list all the other hard ones. I haven't done those either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just like the fun stuff that like for the most part comes out of the ground, besides like acid. Acid don't come out of the ground, but acid won't ruin your life.
Well, it technically came from some kind of plant at some point. We synthesized it.
Yeah,
we could bend the rules
some
there.
Shit. Yeah,
Dude,
some Albert Hoffman shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the serotogenic psychedelics, like you can't really abuse those. You know, you have a big.
It has to be like some like you have to be like. Do you know what a thumbprint is?
No.
So a thumbprint is like, this is on some like super heady, like acid dealer thing.
Okay.
Where it's like there are like, I forget how they make it, but like it's just like you pretty much synthesize like a few like pages worth of acid into like a singular like liquid pool. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's measured in micrograms, and then you take your thumb and you like press into it, and so then like you're tripping for like
and it absorbs
a few
through
weeks.
Your thumb.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think anybody enjoys it. You know what I mean? If you do, that's when you're like, seems like you're really out of touch with reality, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
Don't plan on doing that. Yeah. That sounds like it's gonna fuck some shit up.
How come you don't drink? Is it always like that? You just didn't like
Dude, nah, it wasn't even that. I mean, like, I was lucky. I didn't have like a problem or nothing, which was cool. I did the same thing we've all done, which is I woke up hungover one day and was like, I'm gonna fucking chill for a second.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
I was like, this fucking
poison?
sucks. I'm gonna chill for a second. And then like genuinely that snowballed from like a day to a couple of weeks to like all of a sudden I was like a month in, and a month in I was like, I feel really good.
Dude, you stay off that stuff, booze for 60 to 90 days, you will feel completely different. Your complexion changes, the whites of your eyes, creativity comes back. That stuff's poison.
It's nuts. And like the thing is too, and this is gonna sound heavy, but I don't want it to, but like it's just what it is. Like, like at this time too, it's like, I'm in my early mid 20s, and like I remember distinctly like 4 weeks in of not drinking, I just remember feeling like, bro, the amount of like heavy suicidal thoughts, which like I was never gonna do anything.
I know what you're talking
it never
about.
felt like that. I never felt like I was gonna, like I was really at that level, but I just thought about it all the time. I just thought about, what if I did this? What if I did that? What if I jumped here? Whatever. That shit just like plummeted, dude. It was just kind of gone. And I'm like, beer? Like that did that? Like, that's crazy, bro.
Okay,
so
good enough to leave that alone.
Yeah, like, yeah, it was cool. So it's been, and then it just kind of snowballed, and all of a sudden it's been like 6 years, and things have been going good. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Hell
yeah. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Is that ever challenging in the music industry? Like, not just alcohol, but drugs? Nah?
Not for me. I don't know. Like, for other people, maybe. But I think it goes back to the other thing where I'm like, I'm just cool with me.
Yeah, your drug is authenticity,
as it is,
man.
bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be at the party probably anyways. And not like in a diss sort of way, but I'm just like, it's just usually not my jam. You know what I mean? Like, unless the party's like bitching. But yeah, if it's just like a bunch of people hanging out, getting fucked up, which is great. But I'm like, what we doing? Like, and it's like, but like at the same time, I know that most people don't want to do what I do in terms of like, dude, if I set aside a day, I get maybe a good, and this is not a every weekend occurrence or even an every month occurrence, just clarifying, but like I set aside a day, I get the studio set up how I like it, things are cool, like feeling good. And I'm like, okay, turn the phone off. Let me eat like 8 grams of mushrooms.
Okay. Yep. We're doing it.
And like dive into these speakers and play guitar for fucking 6 hours and all that. Like, I love that. And that for me is like very therapeutic. And I'm checking in. So it's just fun as fuck. With like, there's usually some shit there too that you got to deal with and face.
But that goes south real quick.
Yeah, but like I love it. Like it's just so good. Like I like that part too.
How much can I endure?
Yeah.
How tough am I? Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, but most people don't want to do that, and that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot. Like Most people don't want to hang out in front of speakers for
But if you
6
can get
hours.
a black belt in that, you really can. You see what it's about. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
this isn't about the distraction of I'm in a rainbow and look at the fractals. It's
Not at
actually
all.
about connecting with yourself
Yeah.
and then tapping into this whatever collective consciousness, higher self, where ideas can flow through and you can use your brain in a completely different way and come up with art and songs and things like that.
Like last year, for example, which was like the last time I like tripped on mushrooms, which was like about a year ago. So that's for reference too. Like that's I know I got the mushroom belt, but like it's not
an every month, every quarter
for that level
that
level of dosage. It isn't, you know.
And
so
then
like,
not to mention, you learn so much about like yourself and the universe. It takes a long time to integrate that.
So like last year, you know, a little background. My dad has this autoimmune disease, and him and my mom moved to Colorado for 3 months for him to do a medical trial for treatment for that disease. So they were gone for like the summer of last year, and my part in that was like, I'll watch and take care of their house, you know, and me and my girl, we live together. So I'm like spending a few nights there at that house, spending a few nights at home, but I like built out and set up the studio in the back of the house there. And, you know, it was like I had just dropped a project of mine that it really meant a lot. You know, I dropped them off at the airport 5 days after that, which was the 4th of July. I set up the studio, kind of built it all out. And then like maybe that same week I was like, let's eat 8 grams of mushrooms in my childhood home and see what happens. And dude, I had all these realizations that like, because it was like, I'm thinking about my life and I'm thinking about it in the sense of like, me dropping my dad off at the airport might have been the last time I saw him. Like, there's a chance he's going to die doing this.
And
like,
you're
it's
in your childhood home.
And I'm like at home and I'm thinking about like my woman who I've been with for, at the time, you know, 4 years, give or take. And it's like, am I stepping up all the way there as much as I can too? And like, I start thinking too in a sense of like what I want to do career-wise and music and all that. And I'm like, bro, like you keep thinking that these are like separate things. You keep thinking that like, I can't devote all the time I can to the career and all the time I can to family. And I'm like, bro, devoting the time to the family is how you are able to do everything in the career. This is like the home base. This is ground.
Explain that a little bit.
This is foundation. You cannot build a house without like sturdy concrete foundation. So if the people around you aren't good and your family and your community locally aren't good, you can't build the rest of it. It's going to fuck everything up. Your whole life's going to be in shambles.
You can't hit your highest vibration if the main people you're spending time with at home, something's not right.
Also, none of it matters. Like, none of it fucking matters. And, like, the answer of everything you want to do is, like, literally right here in your backyard. Like, you can do this, and you are making these records and building these connections with the people around you, literally from the backyard you grew up in, and you can fucking do that. And so there was, I cried a lot. It was cool. But like in a good way.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I felt like I saw my life in terms of like how I can do this. And I'm like, I'm here to help the people around me. And I don't know exactly all the ways I'm going to do that, but like, I do feel like it is through music because it's something bigger and greater than myself. It's bigger and greater than all of us. And it's like, it's through that all these other things get to work out. So it's symbiotic. You take care of the people and it'll take care of that, and you take care of this, and it'll take care of that, you know, like, and it just felt like the truth. You know?
It is the truth. Dude, I didn't learn this till like 2 years ago. I did corporate sales a long time, high pressure, just eats you alive, quota.
Yeah.
I thought this was secondary. And by this, I mean the home life, the family life, the health of the family life, how you're treating them, how you're treating public. Hey, if the bills are paid, like we're good.
Cool.
That's not how it works. That's
not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all, bro.
No. And then I left that and I realized these people don't even like me. Like they don't care about if the ATM card swipes or not. You know, I've got some damage to repair here.
Yeah.
So
that's such a beautiful realization to have, you know, because it's like, I think too, like I've seen, you know, families or friends where like they grow up and like things aren't stressful financially, which is a blessing, but like it don't feel like the love is as connected as it could be for that family or that unit, you know? And again, who am I to judge? not my place. But like, it's a reality. You know what I mean? And it's like, you hear it all the time too with artists that are like, I spent 20 years building and grinding to be like the biggest artist in the fucking world. And I finally got there. And that hole that I was trying to fill is still empty.
Damn, isn't that the truth, man?
And I'm like, to me, even though I haven't been there yet, like, and I hope in that very specific scenario, I don't want to be there at all, but like, it makes sense. Yeah. Those are not the same thing, bro. That's work. You know, like, that's not love and family and, like, again, the people around you. Like, all the other shit just, like, doesn't matter.
I don't even think you can properly perform if your home life isn't right. If you're not treating your kids right and your dogs right, and you're not a good husband or boyfriend or whatever it is, everything kind of stems from there. So your foundation's cracked and crumbled, and now you're going to go out and try to be a professional somewhere. People feel that.
Yeah, because I think, you know, you win in the long-term win is your ability to win on the day-to-day level, right? And so if your day-to-day is chaotic due to your home life not being what it should be, you're going to get burnt out. You can't win in that long run. But if your day-to-day rhythm is steady and it's balanced and you're able to like chip away and do the work you need to do on top of like everything being good, I just think that like the cumulative addition of all those good days put together has to be a great result. It has to be.
Dude, I love it. Family first.
Come on.
It's important. I mean, that's what we're here for.
It is.
How can you truly help people with music if your family's not being helped by you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and like, again, everybody's journey is their own, and there's so many artists that like, they're like, I mean, the foundation of like rock and roll is like hating your father. You know what I mean? Like, it's daddy issues for sure. It's a bunch of fucking rock singers with dad problems, you know, but like, so like there is something to be said. But again, I think that, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it equates to joy. It equates to happiness.
On the note of expanding awareness through various means. Yeah. We were talking a little bit about out there about when you're chasing something or when you're creating something or trying to move towards a goal in life. Yeah. If you slow down and look around, you can see like signs or nods from the universe as you described it. Tell me a little bit about that. When you first noticed that, we got the tapping, we got the finger tap, and the brain's going. Yeah. No, you can tap. I shouldn't have done that. I pointed out.
You're good. You're good. No, I tap a lot. So, the nods from the universe are, I mean, they're real because the way I look at it is,
it's real.
A lot of times on like the come up, you're really hoping for like this big fucking snap of a moment,
viral moment
that's going to change your fucking life.
Yeah.
I think most people's journeys don't have that exactly. And maybe there is one, you know, maybe there is a big pivotal thing. But if you're open to seeing like the small signs, I think they could be really powerful. You know what I mean? Because it's like, the way I look at it too is like, bro, there's been times where I like, you know, I put out a song and, you know, maybe it doesn't stream as much as I want to, whatever the fuck that means. But like,
I'll tell you what it means. I want to see 1 million hits in one day.
Exactly. You know, that'd be nice. But like, you get a message from somebody about like, you know, like I put out a song called Family Things, you know, and like people would message and say things just like, bro, my dad's going through cancer and da-da-da-da-da, or had this battle and this song fucking meant, and I just can't, and I just cried in the fucking car and all these, and you're like, that's huge. That's crazy.
Makes it all worth it.
Beautiful. And you're like, bro, like that's amazing, you know? And even if it's not that direct as another person reaching out and saying something, there's just so many things along the way.
So a little nod of affirmation, basically. Like, hey, continue this way. It's helping people.
For sure. Yeah. And I just also feel like, you know, like, yes, I feel like I show up every day in some capacity to whatever it is I'm going for. But also, like, the things that seem to work out and happen in life happen, like, really fucking organically. And, like, things I wasn't pushing or really forcing out. Like, bro, like, I went on the road last year, which was a blessing, but like how that happened really, because it was like my friend, his name's Party Alone, very talented artist, super great guy.
Mm-hmm. I know who it is. I don't know him, but I know his profile.
He was going on tour. They announced his tour, and dude, Bugby calls me, and he's like, "Yo, so Party's going on tour?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know, bro. Like, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Dude, he just posted about it. He's going on the tour." And he's like, "Bro, like, are you going?" And I was like, "I don't even know that there's a tour." Like at the time, because he apparently had just posted. I was like, "I don't even know what you're fucking talking about, dude. I have no idea." And I was like, "So no, I have no plans." And he's like, "Bro, you should see if you can like hop on." And I'm like, "That's a great idea." And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I bet I can do this." I'm like, "Let me talk to them and see if I can go on the road and open up, but also I'll play guitar and help build out his set." So like they get to do that, but I get to be open up on the road. And like I hit them with that, and they were like, "That's kind of a great idea."
And you're in.
And I'm like, "I think it's a great idea too." And it's been working out, and it was great. And then I got to go on the road. You know what I mean? And it's like, in a weird way, did I actively chase after that? Yes.
But the intention was to be helpful.
The intention was to be helpful. And also like, it really happened because like my friend called me and was like, it wasn't some scheme or idea I made up. He just called me and was like, "Bro." And I'm like, "That's a good idea." Like, just let shit happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's hard because the tendency, especially if you have any drive, ambition, work ethic, if you're trying to move something forward in life, at least for me, I want to squeeze it and push it and just let's shove this forward.
Yeah.
And it just slows it down and people get hurt, people get rubbed wrong.
Sure.
And you don't get to the destination that you really should be at. It just, you got to it takes faith to just lay back and say, "Okay, let me follow whatever roadmap the universe opens up for me."
For sure.
It takes faith because you don't see it. It's literally the unknown. I want to push that way. And when you don't know that way, that's uncomfortable. Just sitting in that.
No, it's real, man.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever experience self-doubt in being so much yourself? Doesn't sound like it. You've been rocking Jon Wiilde for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it self-doubt, but I think where that maybe comes in is what I would call like editing and curating. And when it comes time to like making musical projects, I think part of the work after maybe like a very prolific period of creation and having a lot of music, having a lot of songs, a lot of ideas, is then narrowing that down and kind of like killing some darlings and like getting it to where it needs to be. And there's a little bit of doubt in that process because
wondering if you're killing the gold nugget, you mean?
Yeah, I mean it and it's also like, for myself personally, how do I word this without being egotistical? Like I feel like I explore and am able to make music in a lot of different directions and genres and things. And I don't really think about it. I don't really think about it in that way when I'm making stuff. I just make stuff. But then again, when it comes time to like curating something together, which is like the finishing part, there is an aspect that's like, let's see if we can hone some things together. And part of me is like, well, maybe I could just let it all out and all be a thing and see what that is. And that sounds really beautiful, but I at the same time, like, I don't know, I really value like being able to live into a project. I really value like this idea of a thing being a thing. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of, I don't know if I'd call it doubt in that process because I trust myself through it and I trust whatever's going on to do it. And I think also like if there is moments of insecurity, like I also trust that the people around me, whether it's them or like just what I feel like is a message coming through them from something bigger, like I let that shit resonate and happen too. You know what I mean? So I think communication happens in more than one way. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, it does.
Cool.
You do, but you just stay true to yourself and keep moving forward and
like
override it.
It's like either way, I just don't know what it's going to be, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So whether I doubt it or not, like, fuck it, like I'm still going to make records. I'm still going to put them out. It's just like how I am,
Do you ever experience hate from people, jealousy online, in person?
Oh yeah. On the internet for sure.
Damn
dude.
that.
No, it's cool. It's funny.
How do you handle that? Does it affect you?
Usually I'm like over the top, show them love.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean like, because it's not a reflection of me, right? It's a reflection of them. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I don't try to say that from like up here on a pedestal, but I'm like, bro, I've never commented a hateful fucking internet comment ever a day in my life, bro. Why would I do that? Seems like such a waste of time. So something's going on in that person's life.
True.
So like,
that's amazing. So you try to have compassion to counteract.
yeah, like it's all good. And sometimes some shit's just like funny, and that's cool. Like the amount of times that like I've gotten like, bro, when did Steven Tyler and Weird Al have a baby?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just funny, bro. Like some shit gets me. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being funny. That's cool. But some shit's just like, you're fucking terrible. And, and you're like, dude, I love you and I hope you have a wonderful day.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, you know, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been so many times too where I say some stuff like that because the other side of it is this weird thing that happens psychologically when people comment negative shit. They don't realize that the person on the other end is that person. They think of like that video as like an object, or they think of it maybe as like this was on a fucking meme page or something. I don't know. But they comment something and you're like, this dude is da-da-da-da. And you're like, what do you mean by this dude? This is me. I'm right fucking here.
Yeah. This notified my phone as you wrote
I'm
that.
like, bro, I posted this. I made this. And I'll respond.
I never thought about that. It's almost a like they
it's dehumanized.
Dehumanized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is cool, man. It's the internet. I get it. But like, I will see that and I'll comment something kind of coming with compassion. And the amount of times too that like that person's been like, hey bro, I'm sorry. That wasn't cool. And like, you're cool as fuck for saying something. Life was just like nice. And then they like will follow me. And you're like, that's crazy. How did that happen?
They feel the love.
Dude, yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, again, I'll get you start to rehumanize some shit. And people are like, oh yeah, you're like a person. And I'm like, yeah, if you met me in real life, it'd probably be all good.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I get it. You see me in the bathtub singing a song and you don't like it. That's fine. Like, that's cool, dude. I can't fucking blame you for that.
Hey, check out Jon's shit. There really is bathtub songs.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, dude.
So where do you want to go with all this, dude? What are the goals?
My thing really
What's
is
the dream?
like, I want to play as many shows as I possibly can. And I want to make music and art at the highest level. And in order for me to do that, I think it'll require some resources that I haven't fully acquired.
Mm-hmm.
So it is about like building this art and career and business to a certain extent in order to do that. But like at the end of the day, it's really just about like doing this enough that like, if I can do this and the family also be good, so whatever capacity that the art lives at, cool, you know? And even more so than that, and I think the main thing, and I was talking about this earlier today, is like, I really truthfully feel like I'm here to help in some capacity. And I think music is a catalyst in order for me to do that, not just necessarily for the people around me, but like, I think the music can be something bigger and deeper for other people. And if it is, cool. If it's not, that's okay too. It's not up to me. But yeah, man, I just want to help and in any way we can leave this a more enjoyable space for other people. Beautiful, you know?
Very beautiful. Dude, that's sick, man.
Thanks, man.
Anything else you wanna tell people? Any stories, input, advice? Young artists, aspiring artists, people too scared to be artists? Anything?
I mean,
whatever that was, that's the one.
Just like, well, I was gonna say, no. I'm like, I think it's just whatever you're doing is probably right. I don't know, like, just you got to let it happen. You know, I know that's some hippie ass advice, but I'm just like such a fan of it. You know, like, if you got to work through a bunch of terrible shit right now, like, and it feels bad, let it feel bad. don't fight it. Like, let shit be terrible for a little bit and like get yourself out of it. It'll happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just such a believer in that. Like, the more people try to control shit, it seems like life stresses you the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, if you can learn to let go
and flow.
Yeah. You know? Because I say all that and I don't mean like, don't fucking
like don't do anything.
Yeah, don't I don't mean like don't not drink water and don't not like pay your rent, you know, if you got rent. Like, I just mean like every moment of your day you probably spend trying to control how the day's gonna go. And just let that shit happen. It's cool, bro.
I like another part too. Like, if you're going through a hard time, that's part of life. Like, remove the connotation of this is a bad experience and this is just a human experience.
Yeah.
And if you can have faith that something good will come from this and it's temporary, that's a great place to be when you're encountering hard times in life that are for sure going to come.
Facts.
Nobody's immune to it.
Yeah. You're good.
Dude,
thank you for having me,
man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
It's a great time, dude.